I want to talk about goals and how important they are. Because one of the most important things that you're going to realize is that there will never be enough time, money, or whatever to do all the things that you could do. Therefore, in your life, you have to determine what are the things that you should do or must do. And in order to identify those and separate them from all the others, we set out what we call a series of goals. Goals are places or things or where you want to end up with respect to a job, education, marriage, or whatever. A goal. And there's a very famous statement that says, begin with the end in mind. And what that really means is that you need to evaluate the value of a goal to you before you go there. And you don't go there like the Abilene Paradox because everyone else is going there and then find out that you didn't want to go there. So you need to determine what the goals are that you want to do. So you have to literally do a return on investment. So if you're going to invest 4 years in a particular education in this field or that field, make sure it's something that you first love, because if you don't love it, you're not going to be happy at it. So don't set goals that take you in a direction where you will be unhappy what you're doing, because you will fail as sure as anything. You need to love what you're going to do. And that's very, very important. So when you set a goal, the most important thing is focus, focus, focus. And I use an analogy of an evergreen tree. And because it has lots of branches on it as you go up the tree. But the goal that you needed was to be at the top of the tree. You needed to go from the bottom of the tree to the top of the tree. You need to go from one place to another place, from one state of your being to another state of your being. And along the way, there are distractors. They're like the branches of the trees. And you can visit them on the way up to the top, but that'll slow you down. It'll take up resources, and when you come back to the main branch, to the main trunk, you'll be no farther up than when you left the side branch. So that means focus, focus, focus. If you're not doing things to take you towards your goal, don't do them. Don't do them because you can do them. Don't do them because you shouldn't do them. You need to do only those things that get you up the goal. And at the end, with that focus, you put 100% of your effort into that, and you will be more than likely pretty successful. But if you don't put all your effort into that, you go out on these side branches all the time, then what you may find out is that you didn't have enough resources or time or whatever in order to get to the goal, and you will be very unhappy with yourself in your life because you will always think that maybe I could have achieved that goal had I concentrated and focused on it. So focus on goals. And those goals, again, are those things that are going to be important in your life. And again, I want to reiterate, you will never have enough time to do all the things that you could do. You will never have enough money to do all the things that you could do. But you will have enough money to be happy if you pick the right kinds of things and you concentrate and focus on the right goals. Another thing about goals are, in order to be all that you can be, you have to have stretch goals. If you can reach a goal easily, then the goal is not sufficiently challenging enough for you to really grow. It's the struggle to reach a goal that is higher than you can think that you could achieve it. That's the kind of goal you need to go through. Albert Einstein said, if at first your goal is not absolutely absurd, then it doesn't go far enough. And that's how you go. You have to push the envelope, and that's how you grow and learn to succeed in what you're doing. If you're setting goals for others, it's really important that the goal is clear and it will be obvious to everyone when the goal is completed. For example, when John F. Kennedy said that the United States was going to put a man on the moon and return him safely, at that time only 4% of the technology required to do that was in place. But everybody knew the elements that needed to go into that. You had to have, obviously, a spaceship. You had to have some way to get land. You had to have a life support system. You needed to have spacesuits. You needed to develop the rockets itself. You needed to have a guidance system. So the great goal was broken down into a lot of smaller pieces. But everyone knew what their piece was and how it would fit into the great puzzle, like a jigsaw puzzle, so that when everybody did what they needed to do, that the puzzle was complete and they could achieve the goal they wanted to. And even though the goal took massive amounts of technology, even small children could realize when the goal was achieved because they could see Neil Armstrong go down a ladder and step onto the moon. So the goal, it was very obvious, the goal had been achieved. And that is very, very important if you're setting goals for other people, that they have the resources necessary to do their part of the puzzle to reach the goal. And at the end, the goal is something that everyone's committed to. And without that commitment and that clear goal, you're likely not to succeed.